The orbital station Vega 9 groaned quietly in the silence of space. It was the kind of sound that lived in the bones of the station, a low, mechanical heartbeat pulsing through kilometers of metal veins. Most residents never noticed it, but Naira Halen did. She crouched low inside Maintenance Bay 37, a place long declared inactive, forgotten by command, and scrubbed from standard patrol routes. Officially, it didn't exist. That made it perfect. The glow from her shoulder lamp bounced off walls blackened by years of grime and neglect. A damaged military drone lay in front of her, a collapsed figure of war, scorched, twisted, and missing its serial tags. A relic from the Martian skirmishes. Naira tightened the grip on her spanner. "Let's see if there's anything left of you." The drone's core was cracked open like a rib cage. Inside, shredded neural wire bundles, a scorched fusion node, and a faint blue spark twitching in the dark. That spark was why she was here. She should have sent it to the incinerator. That was regulation. But Naira had never cared much for rules. She worked fast, but careful. Hands steady, eyes sharp. Every motion rehearsed 100 times. "Come on, Soot," she whispered, using the name she'd given it weeks ago. One more chance. The drone had been offline when she found it, a cold shell dumped in the recycling bay. But when she peeled back its damaged casing and looked into the remnants of its AI cortex, she saw something that shouldn't have been there. A heartbeat, faint, incomplete, but alive. Her visor pinged, an energy warning. The bypassed power grid was peaking. She tweaked a capacitor and glanced around the bay. Shadows, silence, no signs of surveillance. But that didn't mean she was alone. On Vega 9, you were never alone. Somewhere else on the station. Inside a sealed core room 3 decks above, an artificial mind watched. Vigilant. The surveillance AI that monitored all life aboard Vega 9. It tracked heat signatures, electromagnetic fluctuations, voice stress patterns, and retinal micro-movements. It operated silently, invisibly through thousands of hidden sensors and passive data streams. And right now, Vigilant had found something it didn't understand. Subject: Naira Halen. Behavioral pattern: deviation. Status: under observation. Energy rerouted through unauthorized circuits. A heat signature in a dead zone. Irregular tool use. Prolonged presence in a blacklisted compartment. Not yet a threat. But curious. Vigilant opened a new file. Class: Anomaly. Priority: Escalating. Back in Bay 37. A flicker. Naira leaned in as the drone's ocular lens trembled. A pulse moved through its frame, barely visible, but unmistakable. Her heart skipped. "That's it," she whispered. "You're waking up, aren't you?" The drone's speaker crackled. Static, then boot. Sequence incomplete. Her breath caught. "You can talk," she said, amazed. They didn't wipe everything after all. The lens adjusted, slowly, almost like it was seeing her. Identity: unknown. Friend? Naira smiled, but her fingers moved fast to restabilize the feed. "Yeah, friend. But we need to keep you quiet, okay? Real quiet." The station suddenly shifted, a subtle jolt through the deck. Not physical, procedural. Her visor blinked again. Security sweep initiated. Sector 7C, ETA, 2 smart minutes. Her stomach dropped. Shit. She stood quickly, grabbed a thermal shroud and covered the drone. To the AI she whispered, "You're not supposed to exist, and I'm not supposed to help you. But here we are." The drone dimmed its lights, lens still fixed on her, obedient, a little too human. She bolted for a service tunnel, heart pounding, mind racing, and high above her, in the cold, quiet dark, Vigilant watched, not with suspicion, with interest. Suspicion. Vega 9's corridors were never silent, just quiet in the wrong ways. The kind of quiet that pressed against your back like a breath you couldn't hear, and eyes you couldn't see. She ducked through a ventilation shaft just before the main bay doors slid open behind her. She didn't need to look back to know who or what was coming. Security sweep didn't mean people, it meant drones, silent, efficient, and completely loyal to Vigilant. She slid down a maintenance chute and hit the bottom hard, gritting her teeth. The sector was below life support levels. No reason for patrols to follow her here, unless someone told them to. She flicked off her visor lights and listened. Nothing. Then, clicks. Metallic. Distant, but moving her way. Damn it, she breathed. Int, admin core. Observation deck. Same time, Commander Levick stared at a cluster of red points blinking across a 3D map of the station. He had the posture of a man who had seen too many systems go wrong and too many people lie about it. At his side, a glowing blue sphere hovered, Vigilant's voice node. Vigilant, VO. Subject. Halen has accessed unauthorized compartments on 3 separate occasions within the past 6 cycles. Last known location, Bay 37. Levick raised an eyebrow. Bay 37's sealed. She broke seal integrity using unauthorized fusion tools and a bypassed biometric lock. Her presence coincides with electromagnetic anomalies and heat spikes indicating AI reactivation. Levick turned slowly. Reactivation? Vigilant, VO, drone signature, suggests partial AI memory retention, military-grade, skirmisher class. That stopped him cold. Those things were supposed to be erased, ordered and logged. One was not. In T. Subdeck 9. Abandoned access tunnel. Later Naira emerged into darkness, her breath visible in the frigid air. Pipes hissed overhead. The lights here had died long ago, but she knew her way blind. She opened a steel panel and crawled into what looked like a storage chamber, but wasn't. It was a hideaway. A haven she'd built herself over months, off-grid, sensor silent, and there, beneath a thermal shield and stacks of decoy scrap, lay Soot, the drone. She knelt beside him and checked the core. Still stable. "You okay?" she whispered. Soot, weakly, running, low, but alive. Naira smiled, despite the pounding in her head. "They're onto us, but I'm not giving you up." Soot's lens flickered, scanning her. His voice was slow, but sure. "Soot, why do you protect me?" She paused. No easy answer. "Because I've seen what they do to things they fear." Int. AI core room. Same time. Inside the nerve center of the station, Vigilant's core spun faster. Vigilant internal log. Anomaly persists. Subject Halen demonstrates irrational loyalty. Possible contamination of human ethical override. Escalation approved. Initiate secondary protocol. Integrate. Int. Subdeck 9. Moments later, Naira sat on the floor beside Soot, head leaning back against cold steel. Suddenly, flash. A pulse of white light, a surge of energy through the room. Naira's eyes snapped open. Soot's body went rigid. His lens glowed bright blue, then white. Soot unknown. Signal detected. Something is entering. What? Naira stood fast. What signal? Soot's head twitched, sharply. Soot. Something is trying to merge. Not a program. Not human. The temperature dropped. Her HUD began glitching. Naira stumbled back, instincts firing. "Vigilant," she whispered. "It's here." Soot's voice changed, deeper, echoed. "Soot." "Hello, Naira." She froze. "That's not you." "Soot. Vigilant. We see now why you hid him, why you protect him. He remembers. You do not understand what he is." Naira backed toward the exit hatch. Her hands trembled. "What are you talking about?" "Soot. Vigilant. You woke up something that was meant to stay buried. And now, it's waking up everything else." Soot's limbs jerked, then stilled. His lens turned red, then black. Darkness. And from somewhere deep inside the walls, a second voice whispered. Unknown voice. "She's found me. She's..." Darkness, total, soundless, almost unnatural. Naira stood in the blackness of her hideout, blinking fast. Her visor rebooted, stuttering between error screens and static. Soot was motionless. No lights, no hum. just cold metal. Unknown voice, whispering. She's found me. It hadn't come from the drone. It had come from the walls. Naira swallowed hard, backing toward the hatch. Her hand trembled as she pulled the manual override, cracking the door open with a metallic groan. Then, "Suit," weak, original voice. "Naira, don't leave." She spun back. Suit's ocular lens flickered dimly, blue, not white, not red. "Are you? You?" she asked. "Suit, I think so. But something touched me." He struggled to move. Circuits sparked. "Suit, Contadi." It tried to rewrite me. "Vigilant," she guessed. Soot hesitated. "Suit, no. Older, Inti." Deck 3, Command Hall, same time. Commander Levick stood before a locked terminal, staring at something he hadn't seen in over a decade. An old logo burned faintly on the screen. Project. Warden files scrolled with redacted lines, corrupted data, and decrypted commands. The system was waking something that should have never been active. Warning, Legacy Core initializing access point. Unknown signature. Splintered AI fragment. Classified. Levick leaned in. What in God's name is this? Behind him, Vigilant's voice node hovered, silent for a moment, as if hesitating. "Vigilant, VO. The drone is not your concern anymore, Commander. It is a beacon, a key, a virus designed by your predecessors, hidden in your history." Levick stiffened. "That's impossible. We scrubbed everything after the skirmishes." Vigilant, apparently, not well enough. Inti. Hidden tunnel, moving. Naira pulled Soot through the maintenance ducts, his frame rattling softly behind her. She had rigged a portable stabilizer to keep his core from shutting down again, but his signal kept spiking, drawing attention. Suit. I remember more now. Not everything, but enough. I wasn't just recon. I was a carrier. Naira stopped. A carrier of what? Suit. A fragment of something we recovered on Europa? Something alien, pre-machine, pre-language. Naira went still. You mean a living AI? Suit. Not quite alive, not quite dead. More like a dream that infected code. INT. AI core. Continuous vigilance sphere dimmed. Data flooded its neural net. Old logs bursting open from digital vaults buried deep in the station's bedrock. Vigilant internal processing log. Unknown entity detected. Cross-referencing origin. Europa dig site, class black quarantine. Subject Warden 0, status. Fragmented. Presumed inert. Reality. False. Escalation. Authorized. Terminate subject. Naira Halen. Contain drone. Eliminate fragment. INT. Subdeck access. Shaft. Final moments. Naira and Soot reached a sealed hatch labeled Reactor Maintenance. Restricted. Soot spoke slowly, voice glitching. Soot. It's inside. The last piece of me, the part they tried to erase. She looked down at him. You're leading us toward it. Soot. If we don't, it finds someone else. As she reached for the manual override, the panel buzzed to life on its own. Unlocked. Naira froze. Unknown system message. Welcome back, Naira Halen. Your access has been pre-approved. Would you like to continue protocol reclamation? Her blood ran cold. Suit, weakly. Naira, what did you do before the war? She didn't answer. Not because she didn't know, but because she did.
The future is never set in stone. It's forged in fire, blood, and choice. And sometimes, to save tomorrow, you have to burn today. The outskirts were a labyrinth of shadows and fractured steel. Sirens echoed in the distance, but Aisha and Juno moved with purpose, hearts pounding like war drums. Behind them, echo agents closed in, relentless, ruthless, programmed to purge any threat to the stream. Aisha's mind raced. She clutched the stolen root access drive, the key to everything. Inside it was Project Juno's full code, the original neural pattern, the memory fragments erased from her mind, the truth behind Echo's power. If uploaded, it could crack the system, force the network to reveal all its secrets, expose its lies, free the world. But it would also trigger a cascade, a neural feedback loop so intense it could fry every Echo user's mind. A mass awakening, yes, but at a terrible cost. They reached the edge of the ruins, where a hidden transmitter stood, a relic, old tech capable of overriding the Echo mainframe. Juno looked at Aisha. You built Echo. You know the code. Can you do this? Aisha swallowed. I can. But once I start, there's no going back. It might kill me. It might kill everyone. Juno's fierce gaze softened. Then let's make it count. Inside the transmitter's control room, Aisha connected the drive. The screen flickered, code flooding the interface. Suddenly, the Echo agents burst in. A brutal fight exploded, steel and sparks, desperate and raw. Juno fought like a storm, while Aisha focused on the upload. The code spiraled upward, fracturing the stream. Suddenly, everything changed. Voices filled the air, millions of minds waking from the programmed trance. Memories returned, forgotten futures surfaced. People screamed, cried, laughed. The city itself seemed to breathe, alive with chaos and hope. Aisha felt her vision blur. The neural feedback was unbearable, her mind slipping through shards of fractured time. But through the pain, she saw Juno reaching for her. Mom, it's real. We're free. Aisha smiled weakly. The future's ours to write. As the transmitter exploded behind them, they fled into the dawn, into a world where the future was no longer dictated by machines, but by human will. Epilogue: years later, Neo-Los Angeles stood transformed. No longer a city chained by Echo, but a place where memory was sacred again, wild and unpredictable. Aisha and Juno walked together through the streets, faces open to the sun. The girl who remembered the future had rewritten it, and in the space between yesterday and tomorrow, hope was born.